I'm sure you already know this by now, but not all the best players in the draft are taken in the first round. And a few rookies this year are really proving that to be true. When it comes to the top rookie performers of the 2022 NFL season, the early successes of several players really isn't surprising. We all knew guys like Aidan Hutchinson, Ahmad Gardner, Chris Olave, Kyle Hamilton, and Tyler Linderbaum would produce right away. But there's no shortage of other first-year players who were taken past round one that have greatly exceeded expectations up to this point. Many of these guys, well, you probably didn't know of them until several weeks into the season. With the regular season now winding down, I think it's a good time to dive into the top 10 biggest draft steals of 2022 based on what we've seen so far. Tariq Woolen. Remember when the Seattle Seahawks were ripped across the NFL universe for trading away Russell Wilson? Pepperidge Farm remembers. Geno Smith, Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, and rookie running back Kenneth Walker III have gotten a ton of love for helping the Seahawks exceed expectations. But Seattle's new-look defense has been just as vital in this team's quick turnaround. And that all starts with rookie cornerback Tariq Woolen, whom the Seahawks took in round 5 at 153 overall. The 6'4" Woolen possesses the ideal combination of size, speed, and physicality when matching up against the top receivers, much like ex-Seahawks star corner Richard Sherman. Woolen is in the running for the league lead in interceptions. Not only has he displayed grade A ball hawking skills, but his coverage skills have been excellent as well. Opposing QBs just need to look at the passer rating he surrenders when targeted to know that they shouldn't throw in his direction, period. Fellow Seahawks rookie corner Kobe Bryant, the 109th overall pick, has also exceeded expectations up to this point. So, in other words, it shouldn't be long until the Seahawks defense returns to elite status again. Damien Pierce. The Houston Texans had 5 picks in the top 75, but none of those selections have been better than that of Damien Pierce up to this point. With their first 5 picks, the Texans took cornerback Derek Stingley Jr., guard Kenyon Green, safety Jalen Petrie, receiver John Mechie III, and linebacker Christian Harris. There have definitely been some flashes from Stingley and Petrie, and perhaps they'll end up as the best Texans players out of this bunch. But Pierce has been the lone consistent offensive playmaker on the NFL's worst team. But we would advise Texans fans to relax because Pierce will be a lot of fun playing alongside CJ Stroud or Bryce Young. With Walker missing time, Pierce should run away with the title for most rushing yards among first-year running backs. Even though opposing defenses know what's coming in Houston's offense, Pierce just keeps finding a way to run right through them. Just imagine how much better Pierce will get when A, the Texans get him a real quarterback, and B, that young offensive line improves. Jack Jones. Death, taxes, and Bill Belichick finding stud defensive backs out of nowhere. Remember all that concern about the New England Patriots losing J.C. Jackson to the Los Angeles Chargers in free agency? Well, why pay top dollar for Jackson when you can find a younger and cheaper stud in the later rounds? New England drafted Jack Jones in round 4 with the 121st overall selection, but the Arizona State product is playing more like an early first-round selection. Jones has been a mainstay in the Patriots secondary, putting the league on notice when he recorded a pick-6 off Aaron Rodgers back in Week 4. Jones hasn't been as good as fellow rookie cornerback Ahmad Gardner, but you could argue that the former has been the next best defensive back among the 2022 rookie class. Jack and Jonathan Jones, the other stud Jones corner in Foxborough, have formed a dynamic lockdown cornerback duo, and have kept the Patriots in playoff contention despite maddening and frustrating play from the offense. And I think Jack Jones is only a rookie. Based on Belichick's track record of developing little-known guys into stars, it's only a matter of time until Jack reaches elite/all-pro level status. Malcolm Rodriguez. The Detroit Lions drafted the Oklahoma State product in the 6th round, 188th overall. Expectations are almost never really that high for 6th-round picks, but let me tell you, Rodriguez has more than exceeded them up to this point. Rodriguez was supposed to be a depth piece, but he impressed coaches in training camp and landed himself a starting job. Now the rookie linebacker has been pivotal in improving Detroit's front 7 alongside fellow rookie and 2nd overall pick Aidan Hutchinson. Rodriguez is finishing his tackles with relative ease, and he's making plays all over the field as a run stopper and pass rusher. Rodriguez has some work to do in man-to-man coverage, but the fact he's been a serviceable starter up to this point means a hat tip to GM Brad Holmes and head coach Dan Campbell. Pure and simple. Penei Sewell, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, Rodriguez, Hutchinson, that right there is quite the young nucleus to build around long-term. Indeed, Mr. Holmes and Mr. Campbell have this team on the right track. You know, it's been a long time since we said that about the Lions, but it's true. Better days are certainly ahead. Isaiah Likely. The Baltimore Ravens possess the NFL's second-best tight end in Mark Andrews, so it wasn't exactly a position of need heading into the 2022 draft. But they were just too intrigued by the potential of Coastal Carolina product Isaiah Likely. So Baltimore went ahead and drafted him in the 4th round at 139 overall. Now, Likely's stat line won't wow you, but his performance goes well beyond what you see in the box score. He has been a tremendous blocker in the Ravens' rush-heavy offense, helping Lamar Jackson continue to do his thing as the league's top rushing QB. Andrews left the Ravens' Week 8 game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers early with an injury. Likely stepped up big time and finished that day with 6 catches for 77 yards and 1 touchdown. Likely also caught a TD in the Saints' Week 9 road win against the New Orleans Saints, with Andrews inactive for that game. Likely stats won't be eye-popping in Baltimore's rush-heavy offense, especially with Andrews serving as the main tight end there. But he has stepped up with big-time plays when needed, and again, it's also his run blocking that has made the 4th-rounder stand out. No NFL team drafts better than the Ravens, so it's hardly a surprise that they found another late-round stud here. Abraham Lucas. These Seahawks are really something with GM John Schneider and head coach Pete Carroll. They don't seem to draft all that well in round 1, but they've always found big-time stars after round 1. See Bobby Wagner, Russell Wilson, Richard Sherman, Cam Chancellor, Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, etc., etc. Yeah, you can add another name to that list alongside the aforementioned Tariq Woolen. Offensive tackle Abraham Lucas out of Washington State. Seattle drafted Lucas with the number 72 selection, giving them another first-year offensive lineman to accompany 9th overall pick Charles Cross. Now, Lucas has made his fair share of mistakes. He needs to cut back on the penalties for starters. But he has been more than solid in run blocking and very serviceable as a pass blocker for Geno Smith. In fact, Pro Football Focus named Lucas as their right tackle for the mid-season NFL All-Rookie team. Just another year of Seattle finding more big-time studs beyond round 1. Continue on with your day. Nothing new to see here. Jamari Sullivan. The Los Angeles Chargers were dealt a huge blow when star offensive tackle and 2021 Pro Bowler Rashawn Slater suffered a ruptured bicep tendon in Week 3, thus abruptly ending his season. But the offensive line did not completely unravel as so many people had feared. A key reason why? Oh, you know, just a superb play of rookie offensive lineman Jamari Sullivan. The Bolts drafted Sullivan in the 6th round at 195 overall. He got much more playing time than expected because of Slater's injury, and now it looks like the Chargers have another young phenom on that O-line to get excited about. Sullivan has held up his end of the bargain in pass protection, and the run-blocking game has been real solid thanks to his efforts. Without Sullivan, who knows how much easier it would have been for opposing defenses to get after Justin Herbert. Sullivan and Slater anchoring that O-line together in 2023? Oh yeah, this is gonna be fun. Jaquan Brisker. The Chicago Bears defense was among the NFL's best during Matt Nagy's 4 years at the helm, but it has regressed mightily here under first-year head coach Matt Eberflus. No need to panic too much, Bears fan. Such is life when you trade away Khalil Mack in the offseason and later Roquan Smith and Robert Quinn ahead of the trade deadline. The good news? Well, this young D has several promising pieces to build around, including rookie safety Jaquan Brisker. Brisker was taken 48th overall by the Bears in this year's draft. There was never any doubt about his ceiling, but the fact he's already produced so much so early with limited support around him is nothing short of impressive. Brisker is the chess piece that countless defensive coordinators wish they could build a defense around. He is a star in coverage, he makes plays on the ball, and he can flourish as a pass rusher when the occasion calls for it. Think of him as a younger Tyrann Mathieu, if you will. Having traded away Mack, Smith, and Quinn, the Bears needed to use Brisker more as a pass rusher, and he's been up for the challenge each and every time. Brisker and fellow rookie Kyler Gordon alone give Chicago fans good reason to be excited about the long-term outlook of this defense. It's not going to be long until it returns to elite status. All the Bears need to do now is rebuild the front seven to accommodate that scary good-looking secondary. Bailey Zappy. Alright, it's a small sample size, yes, but it's also hard not to be impressed with the performance Zappy gave the Patriots in the first half of the season. The Patriots used a 4th-round pick, the 137th overall selection, on Western Kentucky product Bailey Zappy. So, who would have thought that he would already look like a future starter in this league? Mac Jones suffered an ankle injury in the Pats' Week 3 home game against the Baltimore Ravens. Veterans backup Brian Hoyer was named the starter for the Week 4 game against Green Bay, but he had to leave the game early with a concussion. So, what does Zappy Zappy do? Well, on the road, he takes Rodgers and the Packers to overtime before they lose a heartbreaker. Then he follows it up by leading New England to back-to-back victories over the Lions and Cleveland Browns. In those two starts, Zappy had 497 passing yards and 3 touchdowns against just 1 interception. Belichick then played that weird game of QB musical chairs with Zappy and Jones in the Week 7 home loss to the Chicago Bears, and then the latter took back his role as the starter from there on out. Still, it is admirable how Zappy performed after being thrown into the fire against Green Bay. Is he a product of the Patriot way? Maybe, maybe not. But he kept the team's playoff hopes alive once Jones went down to injury. His calmness, poise, and accuracy especially stood out, and we wouldn't be all that shocked if Zappy became a regular starter down the road, be it for New England or somebody else. George Pickens. The Pittsburgh Steelers have a long and successful history of finding stud receivers after round 1. Hines Ward, Mike Wallace, Antonio Brown, Emmanuel Sanders, Juju Smith-Schuster, Deontay Johnson, and now George Pickens. Pittsburgh drafted Pickens in round 2 with the number 52 selection, and sure enough, it has quickly paid major dividends in Steel City. The quarterback play from Mitch Trubisky and Kenny Pickett hasn't been great by any means, but it hasn't stopped Pickens from making his fair share of highlight reel plays. The acrobatic Pickens has been one of the few productive rookie wideouts here in 2022, and I think he'll only improve along with Mr. Pickett. The stat line won't look great this year because of the many growing pains in Pittsburgh's young and rebuilding offense, but Pickens, Johnson, Harris, and Pickett round out a very promising young offensive core there in Steel City. Trust us, it won't be long until this offense is right up there with the NFL's best. But who do you think has been the biggest steal in the 2022 NFL Draft thus far? Join us in the comments section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton. And hey, we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you guys next time.